Have you ever left an argument feeling confused? Like you were 100% sure about something, but by the end, you were apologizing for bringing it up? Your stomach is in knots. You feel a weird, creeping sense of shame, and you're not even sure what just happened. Or maybe you've heard phrases like, "That never happened." You're just being too sensitive. I was only joking. You have no sense of humor. You're remembering it all wrong. You're the one who said that, not me. You're making a big deal out of nothing, as usual. It's a dizzying, disorienting feeling. It's a clash between your deepest held reality and their absolute confident denial. It plants a tiny seed of self-doubt that, over time, can grow into a forest of confusion. If this sounds familiar, you may have experienced gaslighting. It's a word you hear a lot, but what does it actually mean? And more importantly, why do people do it? What is the psychological motive behind making someone doubt their own reality? Is it always conscious? Is it planned? We're going to unpack that. First, the what. The term gaslighting comes from a 1938 play and a 1944 movie called Gaslight. In the story, a husband systematically manipulates his wife to make her think she's going insane. He dims the gas lights in their home, and when she notices it, he tells her she's imagining it. But he doesn't stop there. He hides objects, isolates her from her friends, and constantly tells her she's forgetful and unstable, all to make her believe she is losing her mind. That's the core of it. Gaslighting isn't just lying. A lie is a simple deception like, "I didn't eat the last cookie." Gaslighting is a pattern of psychological manipulation designed to make a victim doubt their own memory, perception, and, ultimately, their sanity. It's the difference between saying, "I didn't leave my cup there," and saying, "You always think I leave my cup there. You're obsessed with it. You're just imagining things again." Honestly, it's a little scary. See the difference? One is a denial. The other is an attack on your perception of the denial. The conversation is no longer about the cup. It's about your obsession and your scary memory. You're immediately on the defensive. But that brings us to the real question. Why? Why would anyone do this? It seems like a lot of work. The answer, unfortunately, isn't simple, but it almost always comes down to one thing: control. But it's a specific, desperate kind of control we need to talk about. Let's break down the primary motives. The number one reason people gaslight is to gain and maintain power and control over someone else. In a healthy relationship, people are on equal footing. You can disagree, even argue, but there's a baseline of respect for each other's perspective. You trust that you're both operating from the same shared reality. In a gaslighter's world, they must be on top. Any challenge to their narrative, any differing opinion, is seen as a threat to their dominance. Equality feels like a loss of power to them. By making you doubt your reality, they shatter that equal footing. They become the sole authority on what really happened. If you can't trust your own memory, who do you have to trust? Them. They get to control the narrative. If they control the narrative, they control you. They become the director of your shared reality. And you're just an actor who's constantly being told you've forgotten your lines. Over time, the victim stops trusting their own instincts and starts waiting for the gaslighter to tell them what to think and feel. It's an insidious way to create a deep, destabilizing dependency. The motive number two, to avoid all blame and responsibility. Many gaslighters have an extremely fragile sense of self. Their ego is like a house of cards. One breath of criticism, one admission of fault, could make it all collapse. They cannot or will not accept that they have done anything wrong. Admitting a mistake would, in their minds, be catastrophic. It would force them to see themselves as flawed, which is simply unbearable. The shame is too much for them to handle. So, if they're confronted with something they did, like, "Hey, you said you would pay that bill," or "You really hurt my feelings when you said that," they have two choices. One, admit it, apologize, and feel that unbearable shame. Two, convince you that your perception of the event is wrong. They will always choose option two. They'll say, "I never said I'd pay it, you must have imagined that." Or, I didn't say it like that. You're just overreacting like you always do. I guess I just can't say anything right around you, can I? And just like that, the conversation is flipped. Suddenly, they're the victim, and you're the unreasonable attacker. The original issue, the bill, the hurtful comment, is completely buried. You're now defending your right to be upset, and they are off the hook. It's a toxic, highly effective form of deflection. This is where we get into the deeper psychology. Now, not all gaslighters have clinical narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, but it is a hallmark tool of the disorder. A person with strong narcissistic traits needs to maintain an image of perfection. You, with your memories, your feelings, and your independent thoughts, are a threat to that perfection. You're a mirror showing them something they don't want to see: their flaws, their fallibility, their humanity. So, they have to break the mirror, or more accurately, convince you that the mirror is distorted and you can't trust its reflection. By making you the crazy one or the sensitive one, they get to remain the perfect one, or the logical one. It's not just about controlling you, it's about feeding their own ego. They feel powerful by making you feel powerless. It's a dark psychological transaction. For me to feel big, you have to feel small. This feeling of superiority is their narcissistic supply, and it's as addictive to them as any drug. Finally, sometimes it's a learned behavior. This partially answers our earlier question. Is it always conscious? Some people grow up in households where this was the normal, albeit toxic, way to communicate, where parents gaslit their children. You're not cold. Stop saying that. You're fine. You're not sad. You have nothing to be sad about. If you really loved me, you wouldn't act this way. When a child's internal reality is constantly denied, they learn that their own feelings are wrong, or that manipulation is just how you get your needs met. Or they may have watched one parent do it to the other to win arguments. As adults, they may not even be fully conscious that they're doing it. It's just their default tool for winning a conflict or managing their own uncomfortable emotions. The moment they feel blame or shame, they reflexively use the tool that's always worked for them. It's a deeply ingrained, almost automatic defense mechanism. This doesn't make it excusable, but it helps explain why it's their go-to tactic, even when it seems completely illogical from the outside. So, to recap the why. 1. To control you. By destroying your reality, they become the only source of truth. 2. To avoid blame. By making you the problem, they never have to be. 3. To feed their ego. By making you crazy, they get to be stable and perfect. The goal of a gaslighter is to erode your confidence so completely that you are an easier, more compliant target. It is a death by 1,000 cuts, a devastatingly effective form of emotional and psychological abuse. And here's the most important thing I will say in this whole video. It's not you, it's them. It's hard to believe this, because the entire point of gaslighting is to make you believe it is you. This is the single most important takeaway. Gaslighting works because it preys on our good nature, our willingness to give people the benefit of the doubt, our capacity for self-reflection, our desire for harmony. They use your empathy against you. You assume they're arguing in good faith, but a gaslighter has a completely different goal. That small, quiet voice inside you that says, "Wait, that's not right." Listen to it. Nurture it. Trusting your gut is a revolutionary act against a gaslighter. The first step to breaking this cycle is simply recognizing it. When you're in a fog of confusion, hold on to this one truth. You are not crazy. Your feelings are valid, and your reality is real. And I want to hear from you, but please, share safely. Have you ever experienced this, and how did you learn to spot it? Sharing your story in the comments could help someone else feel less alone.